The plan was simple: land behind the German lines at Anzio, cut their supply routes, and march to Rome. The landing was a complete surprise. And then nothing happened. For 4 months, 150,000 men were trapped on a beachhead the size of a small town. After 4 months trapped on their beachhead, the Allies broke out and captured Rome. This is Battle of Anzio. January-May 1944. Anzio, Italy. A battle is about to begin that will change the course of the war. On one side, Allied forces, commanded by General Lucas/General Truscott. Against them, Nazi Germany, led by Field Marshal Kesselring. Both sides know what is at stake. To understand this battle, we need context. The Anzio landings were supposed to outflank the German Gustav Line and open the road to Rome. Instead, the Allies were trapped on their beachhead for 4 months in some of the most miserable fighting of the war. Allied forces had assembled a powerful force. 36,000 initially, growing to 150,000. Nazi Germany was equally prepared. German 14th Army, rapidly reinforced. The stakes could not be higher. A defeat here would be catastrophic for either side. General Lucas/General Truscott studied the situation carefully. Every decision now could mean victory or disaster. Field Marshal Kesselring was confident. The plan was set. There was no turning back. The men on both sides knew that many of them would not survive what was coming. Churchill conceived the Anzio landing to break the deadlock at Monte Cassino by threatening the German rear. On January 22, 36,000 Allied troops landed virtually unopposed. The road to Rome lay open. General Lucas paused to consolidate his beachhead instead of advancing. Within days, the Germans surrounded him. Churchill was furious. "I had hoped we were hurling a wildcat at the shore, but all we got was a stranded whale." Kesselring reacted with incredible speed. German troops from all over Italy converged on the beachhead. The beachhead was only 7 miles deep. Every inch was within range of German artillery. There was no rear area. Conditions were appalling. Soldiers lived in waterlogged foxholes. Trench foot was epidemic. It was WW1 all over again. German counterattacks nearly pushed the Allies into the sea. On February 16, Operation Fishfang nearly broke through. Allied naval guns and air power saved the beachhead. Destroyers fired thousands of shells point-blank at German tanks. For 4 months, the beachhead was a stalemate. Men lived under constant shellfire in what they called Hell's Half-Acre. In May 1944, Operation Diadem finally broke the Gustav Line. The Anzio forces broke out simultaneously. General Clark controversially directed his forces toward Rome instead of cutting off the retreating Germans. Rome fell on June 4, but the retreating German army escaped to fight again. The chance to destroy them was lost. After 4 months trapped on their beachhead, the Allies broke out and captured Rome. But the German army escaped due to Clark's controversial decision to prioritize Rome. The cost was enormous. Allied forces lost 7,000 killed, 36,000 total casualties. Nazi Germany suffered even more. 5,000 killed, 40,000 total casualties. When the news reached the capitals, the world understood that the war had changed. For the soldiers who survived, this battle would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The commanders on both sides would be judged by history for their decisions here. Military historians would later analyze every move, every decision, every mistake. But for those who were there, no analysis could capture what they went through. Anzio showed the dangers of landing without aggressive follow-through. The failure to advance immediately turned a masterstroke into a 4-month bloodbath. The lessons of this battle would influence military strategy for generations to come. Today, memorials stand where the fighting took place. A reminder of what happened here. Books, documentaries, and films have told this story. But nothing compares to the reality. This was Battle of Anzio. After 4 months trapped on their beachhead, the Allies broke out and captured Rome. And the world was never the same. The events described here shaped the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today.